I'm not sure that the mobile app is dying, but it's certainly evolving, and I think it's becoming more and more focused. Well, I think the first thing that we see the best marketers out there applying is a really broad perspective of their company and their industry. And so by that I mean you really have to get out of your vertical to see where the consumer is. So for example, it used to be that consumers kind of compared within a category, like, you know, out of all these sodas, which is the best soda. But now what they're doing is they're taking their experiences and applying those kind of like pan category or pan industry. So if I have a great experience at a retailer in fast foods, as an example, I expect that same great experience at every single brand that I interact with. And so that's the first thing I would say that has been a shift in the consumer's behavior, is they have expectations across industries and verticals and aren't just doing a category specific evaluation. So the first thing is kind of get out of your vertical, make sure you understand where the consumer is more broadly. The second thing I would say is really try to drive personalization. So we have more data now than we've ever had. Storage is pretty cheap with the cloud and everything, and computing power is prevalent. So take that data, bring in your data scientists, have them help you look for nuggets of opportunity within that data, and then leverage it to personalize the consumer's experience. So the consumer invests a lot in understanding which brands to interact with, right? And they want a reciprocal relationship. So if I'm going to spend time researching and deciding and picking a brand, I expect that brand to reciprocate in knowing a little bit about me. And by that I mean treat me like you know something about me. So I like Starbucks a lot. I go there very frequently, and they know what my most frequent orders are. They know what I like. They make offers to me to get me to try stuff they think I'm going to like. And it's not because they're guessing wildly. They've seen the last 1,000 cups of coffee that I've ordered, and they know that I orient, you know, towards this type. And that's, I think, a really good example of getting to know what your customer likes and then leveraging that to give them a superior experience. And at CarMax, you know, we apply this personalization in a couple ways. We probably have nearly 1 million car searches a month. So we have this ton of data. And when you come in and you start searching for a car, we can compare you to everybody else that kind of searched for that same car, understand what else they looked at, and are able to bring forward some good vehicle recommendations. Now, we used to only do this in the store with sales consultants, and they'd ask you a lot of questions to kind of figure out what kind of car might be a great fit for you. But now, because we have literally millions and millions of car searches going on, we're able to extract very similar search patterns, bring that forward to you in vehicle recommendations, and make those recommendations not only on your digital search or your mobile search, but bring those into the store too, and arm the sales consultant with what's likely to be a great fit for you as your next vehicle choice. When brands are thinking about creating world-class experiences, a couple of the main technologies that they have to leverage aggressively. The first one is data. How are you taking the data that you can collect and leverage, running, I would say, advanced analytics on top of that, bringing the data scientists into the fold and having them help you build these models that can influence or dictate the experience to the consumer. So these are things where you can apply machine learning, artificial intelligence to automate a lot of these experiences digitally, and then also bring those into, in our case, the store experience. So we know, as an example, that you've searched for these kind of cars. You may call up and reserve a car, hold a car for an appointment, and the sales consultant now can go back and see, not only did you search for the car that you held for your test drive, but I can also see the other 5 cars that you searched for most frequently or recently. And I can have a couple of those ready for you to compare and contrast. So you not only get an online comparison, but now I can give you a physical comparison, because no matter how great our pictures are and our descriptors of the car, sometimes you sit in the car and it's like, oh man, it's not enough headroom, or this car smells a little. And it's really nice to have another car there that may be a different make and model, or maybe a similar make and model with different mileage or years or feature sets. And to help you get your final decision made, having 1 or 2 to compare physically goes a long, long way. I'm not sure that the mobile app is dying, but it's certainly evolving. And I think it's becoming more and more focused on a specific task or a related group of tasks. So at CarMax, we see the consumer shopping for a new car is much different than a consumer who's already owning a car. So we have a shopping app and an owner's app. We used to only have one, but we bifurcated the app into those 2 different functions. And so on the shopping side, you know, it's all about vehicle selection, pictures and descriptions of the cars, maybe some online financing pre-approval so I can figure out how much I can afford to buy. Versus on the owner side, it's all about owning the car and, you know, what's my maintenance schedule, when should I change the tires or rotate the tires, providing discounts to vendors for car parts and tires and insurance and the like. And I think that's going to continue on, because when you have a specific task to get done, an app is a really efficient way to get it done. When we're thinking about apps, we kind of back up a little and just think mobile broadly. We think mobile is a macro trend that's going to just continue to proliferate and evolve. So right now, mobile is associated with a mobile phone. Now, I don't know, you know, maybe then it's a mobile watch or something else. Mobile's going to keep evolving. I don't know what mobile's going to look like in 5 years, but what I do know is the consumer is going to always be connected, and that the consumer is going to expect the brands that they interact with to always be connected. And whether they want to interact via an app or a specific mobile website or what have you, I'm not trying to predict that. I'm just trying to back up on the mobile trends to say we're never going back to when a consumer is disconnected, and we're going to have to figure out ways to leverage the benefits of mobile. So for example, via mobile, I know when you're on, I know geographically where you are, I know, you know what time of day it is and what tasks you may be more oriented in. So we could orient the search capabilities or the financing capabilities to take advantage of what we know about you. So if you're here in Richmond, Virginia, I know the next closest store, what's in inventory. I know all the inventory that I can transfer in free for you, and I can help your search take advantage of those facts that I know that, you know, you're sitting right here, as an example. I believe firmly that if you're a marketer, you have got to bring a positive attitude to the table every day. There's jobs in the company where having kind of a glass half empty bias is really appropriate. And those are like accounting and auditing and, you know, the lawyers. You want them to have kind of a jaundiced eye looking for, you know, what's wrong. In marketing, you got to be thinking you can solve any problem. And the way I stay positive is I make sure that we have all kinds of problems to solve, because we get a lot of joy in our marketing department by cracking the code, by figuring out something that nobody else has figured out, moving the needle in a way that nobody expected, and really bringing innovation to problem solving. And that's how I stay really positive, and it's really how our whole department is oriented. Let's go solve this problem.